Welcome to Creative Pages with Catherine. I'm Catherine, and it's time for Beetlejuice Tim Burton inspired scrapbooking pages and cards today from me. This is a playlist hosted by Crafting with Indiana Jones, and I am so excited to share with you all the project that I have set up for today. So, without further ado, let's get to it. Well, first things, we need to do a little bit of pre-prep for this page, and I thought I would just share with you a little bit of behind the scenes. I am going to be using our jumbo circle and lining it up. It doesn't really have to be exactly in the middle because we are going to be cutting a circle from the inside of our circle using the blue blade. My layout is a little bit inspired a little bit more by the Nightmare Before Christmas, Jack Skellington, and of course Sally, but they have the art for the original movie has a large full moon on it, and I just thought, this is a perfect opportunity for me to pull out a sheet from our, I don't know which collection is this from. Oh, this is from the This Life collection because I'm going to be primarily working with our This Life black and white. This one is one of our canary pages. It has the stripes on the back side of it, but I thought, doesn't that look like a full moon kind of with the shading in it? Because the one in the movie poster was this yellow. So, hey, trust creative memories. We always have a perfect page to use for any challenge that might be thrown your way. And I also had several of these thicker 2-inch strips left over from my This Life black and white collection, and we are going to use these to make a pumpkin. So stay with me here. I'm going to get things switched over again, and we're going to work on getting this layout put together. All right, now we are ready to put our page together. I have my moon, and I am going to get this placed on. I know this is where usually they have the hill with the swirl in it coming through, and let me tell you, I thought about it. I thought hard about recreating that swirl, but I thought, you know what, that's going to be a really distinct and really difficult to do, especially since I want to add some photo mats. And I thought, you know what, we have this perfect striped paper that we can bring in a couple of photos onto our page here. And I will talk about where you can add a couple of more. This is from our This Life black and white collection, which has the thicker diagonal stripes going across. We're going to line this one up at the edge of the page with about a 1/2 inch up from the bottom of our black shimmer cardstock. I'm going to leave just a little bit of space in between our two mats, about a 1/2 inch again, because it's good to kind of have the same amount when you're doing some of these stripes going the opposite way. And that, I think, is going to be it for this side of the page for now, because I have a couple of other things I want to bring in, but I want to get my pumpkin put together, and it's a little bit abstract, so bear with me here. I kind of used a little of my artistic license, I guess is what we'll say, to put this one together out of those 2-inch strips that I had left over, like I said, from another layout. We're going to space these out. And, it's kind of interesting because I was walking through a store the other day and I saw a pumpkin that also was made up of stripes. And I thought, what, that's kind of cool. I wonder if I can do something like that on a scrapbook page. And lo and behold, this challenge gave me a perfect opportunity to do just that, but to do black pumpkin. And because, you know, it fits the Beetlejuice theme, I guess a little more in the Night Before Christmas. But I did pull out my corner rounder, and if you'll notice, I've rounded the corners on the right side for the right side of the pumpkin and the left side for the left side of the pumpkin. And then I took my scissors and I cut the stem freehand. So I have these strips here that I cut off basically. And then when I cut it, I realized, you know, that's a little bit too tall. Let's cut that in half. So I had enough paper to work with to do that. And so that's what I went ahead and did. We're going to go ahead and get these on the edge here. I do want to have two more photo mats. These are 4x6 photo mats that I cut from that other paper because I like to have my photos large on the page if I can. You don't sometimes have, you know, some of your photos you don't want to trim off too much from. It just depends on the photo. Sometimes you have a lot of sky or grass that you don't mind trimming out, but other times you wind up with less you want to lose. So having a larger photo mat makes it a little bit easier to manage. All right, these are going in, and of course, remember I said they were 6 inches, so they are going to touch going across, but I have this one coming down just a bit because then we can add a title later with our chalking pen or whatever we want. So our pumpkin is going to come up maybe a little bit into our photo mat, just a hair. So I will make sure not to put tape up that high. So that way my photo can just tuck in under there. Let's do this. And this is just me basically freestyling again a little bit. I don't know what it is about Annie's challenges. Maybe it's the Miami thing that we're both from Miami and have that connection. But I just like her challenges and enjoy being able to be creative on them and a little bit off the beaten path, I guess, if you will. So that's kind of where I'm at with this. All right, a little bit over. It's going to be right through the middle, kind of. Let's get these two edges on. So we're kind of doing our center and our edges. I am not going to push down on these yet because I want to make sure I get things lined up where I want them. I did use the paper with the pluses, and the dots is the other pattern that I used for my pumpkin here. And it's kind of going to be like a stair step, I guess, if you will. So this is coming in from the side. Let's eyeball that. Actually, you know what? Let's not. Let's grab out our ruler and use that to help us line these things up across our page, making sure I'm straight here. It needs to come up. Am I right through the center here? I actually ever so slightly off, but not bad considering it was a 2-inch strip and I'm about 1/8 of an inch off from the 0 in the middle of my ruler here. So let me bring that up just a hair. Line up with the edge of my paper, line up with the ones, because with the 0 centering ruler, your 0 is in the center, and your ones are going to be on either side of your 0. Go figure. There we go. So that's that one. I need my other hand to actually make sure I get this placed down straight. Okay, that looks good. So I am going to go ahead and stick that down. And then we'll come down. How's about, let's see, are we going to do 1 inch, 1/2 inch? Oops. Now that I've gotten the ruler out, I want to make sure I'm reasonably straight here. We'll put 1/2 inch in between. And so that's at 1.5. And that's about, so let's do 3/4. So you're probably wondering how I know I'm exactly 3/4 down. Well, I will show you in just a moment here once I get this straightened out where I want it. So that it looks like it's lined up. And this one actually looks like I need to move left just a hair as well to make sure I have that 1/2 inch in between here. There we go. And then I know I just need to get it up to my ruler mark to know that I'm at the 3/4. And then I'll go down another 3/4. Give me just a moment here. 1, 2, 3 lines on my ruler. There we go. And then now I'm at the 1/2 inch. So this I actually need to bring up a little bit. Look at that. Okay. Yep, and then we are basically at that 1/2 inch because we're at the edge of the page. It's just a matter of lining up this other line here. Okay. All right. How did I know I was at 3/4 of an inch down? Because our lines run horizontally as well as vertically on our ruler. So this is 1/4, a 1/2, and 3/4 right here. You can see it where it says it along the edge. So even from the middle, you'll know 1/4, a 1/2, 3/4. So there you go. And then we will just take this, flip it over, and you can either put it into, you can either put it into your trimmer or, oh, look at that, my mat was a little bit over too. We're just going to cut with our scissors here across the bottom of our cardstock. All right, what do y'all think about my little pumpkin that I kind of freestyled here a little bit with my moon and my kind of, kind of gives that flow of the eye through the page. But I've also pulled out my, if I can say it, I've also pulled out my Gourd Time punch here, which is sadly sold out already. It sold out in, I think, a week or so, which happens with our products from time to time. But I punched some green, some purple, some yellow from the same paper, and from our pumpkin cardstock. And I thought, maybe it might work to have a couple of extra little pumpkins down here with a little color on our page, or maybe we just need to do a little patch here with the taller one. I pulled out the purple, the orange, and yellow, so pumpkin color cardstock here. But I didn't think the green really fit the page as much. The purple does go well with the black, so I'm going to go ahead and place these down. I pulled a couple of smaller ones for the corners of our layout. It just adds a little extra pop, a little extra element, and it reiterates that we have our pumpkin here. I'm going to grab out my silicone mat real quick because these are small pieces and we're not going to be able to get tape on them without getting tape other places. There's one. I wonder if I can, oh yeah, that does go with the angle going towards it. And here we go. All right, and so now to finish off your page, where else would you put photos on this page? You can easily put a photo down here in the middle of your pumpkin. You can put a photo here. I think you definitely should pull out your chalking pen and do a title up here in white. And you can also put another photo right here in your moon. You can add some journaling down here, again, with your chalking pen. And of course, your photos here. So I think if you kind of photo, you can do one of the vertical photos up here. I just didn't want to put the stripes because it would kind of reduce the flow of the page. But you can easily put your other photo here. You can see, if, especially if it's a little bit smaller than the 4x6, and it'll still fit. And you can see again here, we easily could have put a mat down there, but I think it'll look better with just the photo directly on the pumpkin. So there you go. What do y'all think of my Nightmare Before Christmas inspired scrapbook page? Let me know in the comments. We're also going to make a card. Let me get that pulled out. For our card, I wanted to use up some more of those 2-inch strips that we had left over. And we also had some excess around from where we cut the circle. And so I pulled a 3-inch by 5.5-inch piece of the yellow, figuring that that's enough. We actually were with these 2-inch strips. Our card is 5.5 by 4.25, and this is 6 inches of paper. So we're going to cover the bottom with our little abstract pumpkin again. I pulled out a blank card from our blank card kit. Let's get some tape on our going here. And I'm going to secure the edges a little bit because I just have really been determined to not do any floppy cards this year. So get that lined up with the top of your card. Sometimes gravity helps. There we go. Actually, gravity does always help, it seems like. With the card making makes it easier. And here we go. I did do the corner rounder again on both edges here. I have, these are all the plus papers, and instead of keeping it with the black side up, I'm going to use the white and the black side of the same paper. You can see here. So let me flip those. The white sides are going to be on the outer edges, and the black is going to go in the center. Where's my corner here? I don't know if I need this edge at least. I don't know if I'm going to be putting this all the way up or not. Let's see here. Oops, that's going to go here. That's going to go here. So, yep, this is going to kind of go off. As, again, we'll do that roughly that 3/4 inch. And then I had just an extra square. This is going to be our stem. So just bear with me while I put these on. And we're going to get this put together kind of quickly here, because it's essentially the same idea as what we did on our other page. But I just want to make sure this gets lined up across my card, just like I did on my page. So those lines are even here to the eye, and then we'll put this one up the 3/4 inch, and then we'll add our stem. How's about that? Sometimes I amaze myself a little bit, I guess. Okay, I'm easily impressed. 1, 2, 3. I don't know if I'm easily impressed, but okay. I kind of did this backwards, but that's all right. Let's go about 3/4 inch here, since we're doing this backwards from how we did the other one. I think it's okay if we're ever so slightly different there. I did not punch either of the edges on that top one there. But this is going to come in. Do we want a black stem, or probably should do a white stem? And then I'm going to have to cut this down just a little bit so it actually fits on our card. So let's just go ahead and we're going to leave this kind of squarish. I just thought that would be a different kind of stem. And then you can almost use it as like a birthday card, maybe. It's kind of almost birthday candle-like to me when I was looking at it when I was starting to put this together. I kind of thought, the squares definitely becomes a little bit more birthday card-like. There you go. Now let's flip again and cut. You can see where I had put a little bit too much tape, going a little bit too far down. I probably should have gotten my micro tip scissors for this so I don't goop up my regular scissors here, but it's what I had out, so that's what I'm using. Let's grab this end here also, just a little bit coming off of our card on the edge. What we should do is pull out our pens and turn this into a actual Halloween card. Let's see. I mean, we could use black. Actually, let's just do that. Let's use our black. And go ahead and you can either write maybe you're invited. So you're an invited, or happy Halloween, which is what I think I'm going to do. So if you're inviting somebody to a Halloween party, do that. So happy. And see if I can fit this in here. There we go. Whew. It's always nice when it works out. All right. So what do y'all think of my second kind of abstract pumpkin there? You know, kind of a fun card to send out to somebody as well. So in the comments, let me know, did you like the page or the card better? What did you think of my little striped abstract pumpkins? And, you know, which Tim Burton movie is your favorite? Are you all about Beetlejuice and excited about part 2 coming out? Or are you more into The Nightmare Before Christmas and kind of enjoyed seeing my interpretation of the moon from the movie poster? Thank you once again to Annie at Crafting with Indie Annie Jones for hosting this playlist. You will find the link to the playlist in the description box below this video. Please hit the thumbs up button and subscribe if you're new to my channel. Until next time.